Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat for Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing here in Pocono in the Cup Series at the Tricky Triangle for the final time in our NASCAR Heat for Career. But first of all, we have the Truck Series and Xfinity Series races to get through, where we go to Chicagoland here for the Truck Series, and in a few minutes we go to Iowa for the Xfinity Series, so you guys probably have an idea of how we're going to run there. But for the Truck Series race here in Chicago, we had IndyCar driver James Hinchcliffe in the truck. My favorite IndyCar driver, obviously being Canadian, of course. I always root for James Hinchcliffe now, as he would start about the midfield. Not a very good qualifying effort, as he actually, I should mention, hit the wall in qualifying, and that's why he started so far down the grid order here. As I believe, actually, this is one of the tracks that we won at in our one season we did in the Truck Series for myself here quite a while back now, as Hinchcliffe would go 3 or 4 wide down into turns 3, actually, with the 16 there as it came through turns 3 and out of turns 4. There you see Austin Hill just on his outside. I still want to call the 16 Brett Moffitt all the time, but obviously that's not the case of who's in that truck now, as it was Johnny Sauter, though, in the early stages, leading the way there as we went down towards turns 1, and then obviously we came through a little bit later. Hinchcliffe had moved his way now up inside a top 10 position now as he came through turns 1 and turns 2. So he was moving his way forwards pretty well as this race was going on there as he was just kind of running that bottom lane, just making up some ground here as he came through a little bit later, actually battling up the inside of the 0-2, but then Stuart Friesen, another Canadian, would actually be able to pass Hinchcliffe, and then on the next lap Hinchcliffe would be able to get past the 0-2 truck as he went down into turns 1, but after this kind of point on, he kind of struggled to gain any ground there as he would slide up in front of that 0-2, so we come through now down the back stretch on the final lap at this point here in Chicago. Hinchcliffe losing ground to Friesen up ahead there, as you can see quite a few trucks up ahead as he came through turns 3 though and turns 4 for the final time here in Chicago. He would be able to hold off the 0-2 coming to the line now as he's going to come through here to get a pretty solid finish of P8 at Chicago here in the Truck Series, as you see the rest of the order on your screen. But now it is time to go into the Xfinity Series here at Iowa, where we had subscriber Kevin Kang in the car. I should mention now, Iowa being the track probably that's worse for us here in the Xfinity Series. We can never really run good, but hopefully today we can maybe change that, as this will be our final stop at Iowa as well in the NASCAR Heat for Career Mode now, as it's, like I said, a track that we always struggle at. Even in NASCAR Heat 3 we were really bad here as well, as Kevin would start in about the midfield here, just a bit below the midfield here as he went down towards turns 1. It was Christopher Bell leading the way, but Kevin jumps up to the outside straight off the bat here, trying to make up some ground now as he came down this back straightaway. The outside usually works pretty well at a track like Iowa. You can actually really do some multi-groove racing at this track, and that's what makes it pretty fun here. As I actually just did the Nitro Racing League race last night at Iowa, which you guys will see on the channel within the next day or so here, and it was certainly a multi-groove race, which is very fun when you have that opportunity. Now as it came through turns 1 and 2, Kevin going 3 wide up the middle here as he was making some pretty aggressive moves on these opening laps as he went down towards turns 3, sliding in behind the 1 of Michael Annett. But like I said, obviously Iowa always a struggle for our team here every time we come here, and he would move his way forwards a little bit, but like I said, he was still struggling to gain much ground as he was actually under pressure from the 22 of Austin Cindric as he went down towards turns 1, and actually there would be contact there. The 22 gets into the back of Kevin as he would go up into the outside, while surprisingly the green flag stayed up, which was, like I said, a very big surprise. He came through a little bit later though, losing more ground kind of after that happened there as he got passed by the 39 of Ryan Sieg. Then the 5 car would go to the inside as he went down towards turns 1, and he would make a pass, and he was just starting to lose ground as the race went on now in the later stages of this race. As he came through out of turn 4, losing another spot there now as he came through down towards turn 3, this being on the final lap at this point as he came through out of turns 4. So like I said, just continued to lose ground as the race went on, but he would be able to hold off Elliott Sadler as he came through across the line for a P18 finish here in Iowa, which is usually around the area that we run at here in Iowa. So definitely disappointing, but hopefully we can keep the momentum at least turning in our favor here for the Xfinity Series as we get close now to the playoffs here in all 3 series. But we come through to Pocono for myself here in qualifying. Like I said, just like what I just mentioned, we are closing in now on the playoffs within about 5 or so races of the playoffs here in the Cup Series. So it's crunch time for a lot of drivers. We only have one win this season at Bristol, which is obviously so far disappointing. Hopefully we can turn it around, though. We need to start getting them playoff points. But it's really been a weird season for us, our final season here in the NASCAR Heat 4 career mode. It wasn't planned to be the final season, just kind of how it turned out with the release date of NASCAR Heat 5. But either way, we go down towards turns 3, or what I really consider to be turn 5 here. The goal is a 53.835. We usually get a pretty good qualifying effort here in Pocono, and as we exit turn 3, the car felt pretty good as we go down this front straightaway. We didn't get into turns 1 very well to start our lap, but we still come through to cross the line with a 54.1 and go P14, which is a little bit worse than the first Pocono race here earlier this season now. So on the outside lane here, unfortunately for Pocono, but on pole we have Kurt Busch, our teammate.
NASCAR makes its final stop at Pocono Raceway for the Gander RV 400. It's always fun coming to this 2.5-mile triangle-shaped speedway. All 3 turns are different, and the banking in those turns is far less than most tracks of its size. It's time to head down to the track.
All right, thank you, Rick Allen. We're ready to go green here for the Gander RV 400 at Pocono Raceway. Ty Dillon starting at the back after an engine change, and there you see our teammate Kurt Busch. Failed pre-race inspection. He qualified on pole. He is sent to the back along with Chase Elliott, who failed technical inspection. So 3 drivers starting at the back of the field now, or being sent to the back of the field, as now we're going to move up into the inside lane here as we're ready to go green in Pocono now from P13 as the green flag is officially out here. There you see right off the bat our arrival of Daniel Suarez is going to be possibly a potential shakeup here in these opening laps. Now behind us we got the 14 of Clint Boyer. On my outside we got the 6 of Ryan Newman as we go down into turns 1 on this opening lap here in the tricky triangle as we get right off the bat to the inside of our rival of Suarez there, as we actually maybe briefly touched there on the exit of turns 1, as I didn't feel like making it 3 wide with Jones and Logano since this was only the first lap, so I just kind of ride behind them, which was a little bit nervous having Suarez on my outside as we went down towards turn 3. But Denny Hamlin leads the way on the exit of the tunnel turn, and then we got Alex Bowman in second place there. The car got a little bit loose on the exit of the tunnel turn, and being lap 1 and the car's already loose, that was a slight concern that we might maybe need to make an adjustment here already at the end of stage 1, just after about half a lap or so. As Hamlin, though, will lead the way down the front straightaway, and he's going to come through to lead the first and opening lap now here in Pocono. Suarez on my outside. We use that draft to our advantage. We have a huge run on the back of the 20, but still didn't really feel like being overly aggressive here on lap 2 of this race, so I just kind of stayed in behind the 20 of Eric Jones to go down into turns 1. Clint Boyer trying to get to my inside, couldn't quite make it happen now as he went down this first back straightaway just behind Suarez going down into the tunnel turn. Boyer hits us in the left rear. We slide up the track into his teammate and our rival of Daniel Suarez right there. He saves it, a big save from Suarez. Thankfully, now as we came through, though, out of turns 3, Suarez had gotten back to my back bumper as we went down this front straightaway, as myself and Boyer just kind of came together in the tunnel turn. But we get a huge launch from the 41 of Suarez, and we have a massive run going down this front stretch. We have to take advantage, and all of a sudden, we're in the top 10 here as we go down towards turns 1, 3 wide with Eric Jones, and now we'll roll up, but we clear them and fade in behind the 48. We then would get hooked up with Jimmy Johnson going down towards turns 3, now on lap 3 of the inside of Austin Dillon here. As we go into the corner, we get into the back there of the 48 of Johnson, punting him. He's going to make a big save there, as I did not have any intentions of doing that. He just kind of checked up, and now our rival of Suarez has once again found my back bumper. We have damage on the back bumper because he's hit me so many times already, and now we get to the back of the 48. He's slowing up for some reason on the straightaway, and it's just a whole cluster of cars here. Keselowski gets by. We look to the inside of the 48 of Johnson as we go down towards turns 1. Suarez once again right on my back bumper. We know how this is going to go. Suarez gets to us. He's going to push us into the side of the 3 of the RCR driver of Austin Dillon. And now Suarez is crowding us into the 3, puts him in the wall. And now we're going to be door banging down this first back straightaway down towards the tunnel turn. I had the wheel just pulled all the way to the left here at this point as we go down into the tunnel turn. I finally give up the position to Suarez, who has just no care in the world now. As we came through, though, a few laps later on lap 5, we had gotten up the inside of Clint Boyer, and we would actually be able to pass him going down into turns 1 1, but I was losing a lot of ground to the cars up ahead as the car was falling off quite significantly here at this point now as Eric Jones had moved into P9. He had run me down as Kyle Busch was now leading at this point now as we had finally had a bit of a cool down period now on lap 7, but my car was slipping and sliding on the exit of the corners, through the center of the corners, everywhere, and that allowed Eric Jones to pounce on the opportunity. He gets to my inside as we go down towards the tunnel turn, and I just give him the position there because I just had no fight in the car at this point. I felt like the back bumper damage that Suarez gave us was also playing a big role. We came through now on lap 8 out of turns 1, same situation. Car slipping and sliding. Joey Logano now gets to my inside, and I just had nothing for him. So I let him go as we now drop down into the 10th position with just a few laps to go here on the stage. We come through to lap 9, approaching just 2 to go here in stage 1. Kevin Harvick had now taken the lead in the first stage there as I'm slipping and sliding out of turn 3, trying to catch a guard. This time we completely lose it, and now we still hang on to it, keeping it straight there as the caution comes out as well here with just 2 to go on the stage, and saves us from losing potential stage points now as we do get 1 stage point out of that. Could not get a replay of what caused the caution, but we would pit for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires, make adjustments, repair the damage that Suarez gave us, and we would come out in P10. So Kevin Harvick gets a playoff point now as stage 2 is officially underway here, as hopefully we have a lot better handling car here in this second stage. 12 laps to be exact here in stage 2. Daniel Suarez, our rival, just in front of us. We've already had multiple run-ins with the 41, as we haven't had anything catastrophic happen with the 41 recently, thankfully, here, as we play it pretty easy going down into this first corner. Last time we came to Pocono, at the end of the race, we were actually in the hunt for the victory, and then we choked our opportunity away, as well as ruined Ryan Blaney's chances of winning that race. But Blaney is pretty comfortably in the playoffs right now on points, so he shouldn't have to worry too much, as it's been, I think, since season 1 of our career mode since Blaney made the playoffs there. As we go a little bit wide through the tunnel turn, I was going to cut down to the bottom, and then Tyler Reddick made a very aggressive move, and then I just completely screwed up, and we actually get into the wall a little bit. Thankfully, no damage from that contact with the wall, but now giving up more time as we go down into turns 3. There you see Chase Elliott just up in front of myself as he's battling with Eric Jones. Harvick and Truex run 1, 2, and Keselowski in P3 ready to pounce if he has the opportunity now as we come through to complete that first lap of stage 2. So far, a surprisingly wild race here in Pocono. We would run down this group of Elliott and Jones. We would take them 3 wide as we went down towards turn 3, and now we pass them with ease there as we go down into the corner, but I go a little bit wide there with William Byron on my outside, but now we actually get it back on that bottom here as we come through out of turn 3 up into P12 at this point here as we go down the front stretch. Tyler Reddick in P11 just in front of us here as we hit just 10 laps to go in the second stage. We'd be battling up the inside of Reddick and actually went wide into turns 1 on lap 3. That would allow Chase Elliott to take us 3 wide on this first back straightaway here. William Byron just behind us ready to pounce on the opportunity. Who was going to give first? I would actually back out as we went down into the tunnel turn because I knew the AI wouldn't do it. Now as we came through the center of the corner, we fight back up the inside of Tyler Reddick as well as the 9 of Chase Elliott as we go down towards turn 3. And then the caution actually comes out here in stage 2. Once again, could not find what brought it out, but either way, it would set us up for a restart now past, or just right around the halfway point actually, of the second stage now as we're going to be P12 so far. The race hasn't gone in our favor. We've been a part of a lot of wild battles, and hopefully it's going to continue like that because it was certainly making it a lot of fun here as we go down towards turns 1. Behind us, we got the 24 of Byron, but just in front of myself, we got obviously the 14 of Clint Boyer as we come through turns 1. Tyler Reddick gets clear of myself now as we drop down to P13 on the exit of the corner, just trying to rally our way back now as I see a hole there between the 31 and the 14. We're going to take the opportunity, make it 3 wide up the middle, and hopefully clear Reddick by the time we get to the tunnel turn. And thankfully, we do clear that 31 and get down on that bottom there as we close up right on the back again of the 9 of Chase Elliott. A little bit sideways there on the exit of the tunnel turn. Now we're going to get up the inside of the 9 and try to move our way back inside the top 10 as we continue to try and at least rally our way back forwards as we go a little bit wide there through turn 3, and that allows the 20 to now take myself and Elliott 3 wide there. The 9 probably not very appreciative of myself there as we come through down the front stretch with 5 laps to go in stage 2. We're going to fight back up the middle now between the 9 and the 20. Chase Elliott probably not a big fan of myself right now as we're going to barely clear Jones into turns 1. Play it safe, but I slide into the corner, and once again we're going to be 3 wide with the 9 and the 20. This time as we exit turns 1, slipping and sliding again, that allows the 9 to stay in front of me. Brad Keselowski now out front at this point as he took the lead from Kevin Harvick here in stage 2. Is going to give the 9 a shove down towards the tunnel turn, and now as we go into the corner, the 9's going to go spinning. We completely take the 9 out of this race now as he goes hard on the outside while the caution comes out now as Chase Elliott, if he wasn't mad at me before, he is certainly fuming with us now as I just completely wiped the guy out, unfortunately going down into the tunnel turn. Thankfully, or fortunately for you Chase Elliott fans, he was still in this race. That was all on me. I take full responsibility there for what happened. I know what happens to the AI going down into the corners like that, and I still did what I did, and I just completely wiped out the most popular driver in NASCAR. Not the first time we've done it, but probably won't be the last either. So I apologize to you guys for that one. But unfortunately, the 9 is now in the back, and we are still up here towards the top 10 as it's only 2 laps to go here in the second stage. So I have to be very aggressive on this restart, making it 3 wide with Hamlin and Jones as we went down towards the tunnel turn. Keselowski still leading the way here. So far, a wild race in Pocono as we go down the second back straightaway. Daniel Suarez, our rival, in need of a good run to keep his playoff hopes alive, finds himself in position to have said good run now as we're going to be 3 wide up the inside of Alex Bowman as we come through turns 3 now as we're going to make a little bit of contact there with the 88 of Bowman on the front stretch. Logano's going to get clear of both of us now as the 88's going to side draft now on my right rear and pull me back as we're still going to be 3 wide. Jones gets clear. Now we're 2 wide with Bowman on this final lap here in stage 2. Keselowski, like I said, back out front now in front of second place of Martin Truex Jr. as we come through turns 1, trying to get clear of that 88 of Bowman, but he's not going to give there as we make big contact on the exit of turns 1. The 88 might have clipped the wall there now as we're going to clear him there as the car was just struggling so much on the exit of the corner, slipping and sliding. Not as bad, obviously, as stage 1, but still enough to be a bit of an issue, clearly, as you come through the tunnel turn for the final time, trying to close in on the back of Eric Jones on this last lap. In stage 2, we're going to dive to the inside of the JGR driver as we go down into turns 1. Logano just in front of us, but Keselowski tries to hold off Martin Truex Jr. for the stage victory as we exit turn 3. Keselowski will, sure enough, hold on to get that stage victory as we're slipping and sliding again on the exit of turn 3, and that allowed the 20 of Jones to actually get me at the line there as he went by on the inside. So we get P9 here in stage 2 as Keselowski gets the playoff point. Daniel Suarez in P4. Kyle Busch rounds out your top 5, and Bowman rounds out the top 10. We would make more adjustments to the car. 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires, obviously, but still looking to get the car a little bit tighter now as we're ready to go green here for the third and final stage. Only 13 laps to go, so we only have 1 extra lap here in the final stage, so definitely not a lot of time to make stuff happen as the Pocono races usually seem a little bit short here now as we go down towards turns 1. Obviously in NASCAR Heat 5 it's going to be a double header Pocono, which I'm very excited to do now just to get both Pocono races out of the way, because in reality Pocono, not a track I enjoy very much personally here as we go down this first back stretch, going 3 wide briefly behind us for a moment there between Boyer, Bowman, and Byron. The 3 Bs now with the B trio, I guess, as we go down towards the tunnel turn there. You see Logano and Busch side by side, but now Logano's going to be able to get ahead of the 1 car of our teammate, Kurt Busch, and we're going to pass our teammate as well, and then get up the inside of the Penske Racing champion of Joey Logano as we go down towards turn 3. We clear him as we go through the center of the corner, going a little bit wide there, unfortunately, now as we exit turn 3, but thankfully Logano wasn't really able to pounce on the opportunity. But all of a sudden, here in stage 3, we find ourselves in P6, moving our way back forwards to come through on lap 29. We close in on the back of Suarez. We get to the inside of him. Then we dive to the inside of the JGR driver of Kyle Busch. And all of a sudden, we're inside the top 5 here in Pocono. Truex, Harvick, Keselowski, your top 3. Now as Suarez gets into the back of me through turn 3, he gets sideways, makes the save as we go down this front stretch. So definitely have to be concerned about our rival of Daniel Suarez at this point as we go down towards turns 1 here with 11 laps to go. Harvick up the inside of Truex, and then the caution comes out with 11 to go. You see there, we have just enough fuel to make it to the end, so I decided not to pit. It was kind of split. There was quite a few drivers pitting, but I knew at the end of the caution we would have probably 2 laps to spare. So we get ready to go green from P4 here now with less than 10 to go, but one problem. You look right in our rear view mirror. There is our rival of Daniel Suarez with 8 laps to go, and now as we go down towards turn 1, I was a little bit concerned, so I had full intentions of pushing the 4 as hard as I could down into turns 1 to get away from Suarez, but unfortunately Suarez is right there. He actually gets to my outside slide into turns 1. He hits me in the right rear, but we keep it straight. Now he's going to hit us again through turns 1. We go a little bit wide, but we keep hanging on to it. Now more contact with the 41 of Suarez. Somehow we all keep it straight now. As the amount of times myself and Suarez have come together, it's pretty surprising how many times we have not crashed so far as we went down now this front straightaway. Suarez lurking behind as we go down towards the turns 1, so I was a little bit concerned. Keselowski, Truex battling for the lead and shoving up the 41, gives us a huge push to the back bumper, and I go so wide, I go into the outside wall, damage the right side of the car, and just like that, Suarez has completely screwed us over here as we go down this first back stretch. Eric Jones gets to my inside, he goes by, and it was just a struggle after this now as the car just wasn't driving like I was hoping it would after that point here, as I was hoping we could get back to the 41 of Suarez with 5 to go. The caution comes out again, and now maybe if we get really lucky here, we will have a chance to get back to the 41, but I guess I kind of deserve everything that's come my way in this race all of a sudden, considering what we did to the 9 of Chase Elliott. But either way, it is going to be a 2-lap dash here to decide the winner in Pocono at the Tricky Triangle. Keselowski and Harvick on the front row. Truex up there in the mix in P3. Suarez P4 now, as Suarez, like I said, is in need of a good run to keep his playoff hopes alive, and I would love to get up there and just punt him after what he just did to us here as we go down towards turns 1 behind the 1 of Kurt Busch, our teammate now, as we just at least try and hope to hang on to a top 10 as we go down this first back stretch now, as it's Bowman and Johnson behind us. The 12 of Blaney on my inside. There's Blaney also in need of a good run to make sure he stays in a comfortable position here in the point situation for that playoff battle as we go down through this tunnel turn. A lap and a half to go for Keselowski, who just tries to hang on to get the victory here. I think he has 1 win on the season, now looking for 2 as we're going to make a 3 wide with Logano and our teammate of Kurt Busch as we go down into this third turn. None of them obviously going to want to give up an inch here as we come through turn 3, sliding into this side of our teammate of Kurt Busch now as we hang on to it now as the car was just all over the place at this point. 3 wide behind us now as Logano's going to stay on my outside as we start the final lap here in Pocono as we go down towards turns 1. Bowman gets up into P8 now as it's still Keselowski leading at this point as we come through turns 1. Surprisingly, the car doesn't really kick out from under me, but Blaney's still going to get to my inside on the exit of turns 1 as it's going to be 3 wide with the 2 Penske drivers as well as their Penske teammate Keselowski leads as they go down towards the tunnel turn. We slide in behind the 22 trying to get that draft to stay clear of Blaney. I go a little bit defensive into the tunnel turn and we do stay clear of that 12. Sideways a little bit there on the exit of the tunnel turn, but we do have a comfortable gap now to the 12 of Blaney. We should be able to hold on to a top 10 finish as Keselowski leads the way through turn 3. Truex in second, ready to pounce if something happens, but it doesn't look like anything will happen to Keselowski as he will hold on as we slip and slide again on the exit of turn 3. Blaney goes to the inside, but Keselowski wins in Pocono. We hang on to finish in the 10th position here on the Tricky Triangle. I don't know how we got such a decent finish out of it because the car just drove like trash there, especially at the end. But Keselowski with the victory, another handful of playoff points to him. Daniel Suarez passed Kyle Busch on that final lap, I think it was. He gets P3 out of it. Jimmy Johnson in the teens there, so he's got a decent finish, but you really got to pay attention to this playoff battle now that we are getting ready to see on the screen in just a moment there, as I have to apologize to a good bunch of drivers after that race. And as always, if you guys did enjoy this episode, you know what to do. And once again, apologies to the Chase Elliott fans. Next episode, though, we go road course racing at Watkins Glen. Very excited for that. We always have the potential to put on a good show at Watkins Glen. Now, as you see the playoff grid in all series, there is the Xfinity series now. We're locked in as well, so nothing to really be concerned about on that side. But the Cup series is really where the battle is going to be for those final few playoff spots. You look at that right there on your right side in the bottom. Clint Boyer, William Byron, Eric Almirola, they're with all in 20 points of being in the playoffs. Jimmy Johnson, Suarez, very close as well. It's going to be very good. So I'll see you guys, though, in the next one at Watkins Glen, where we could have a bit of a shake-up there. So thank you all for watching, and have yourselves a great day.